What's up guys, we are back, Supro Studio Sounds, and today we're gonna do something really fun. We have our brand new Supro Montauk. It's a 1x10, 15 watts, and we are going to pair it with this amazing vintage 1960s 16T, which is a very cool amp, but admittedly, Nick and I have not played this amp. Our good friend Pete brought it in, but Nick, what are we doing today? Why don't you tell us what you're thinking?
Yeah, so we wanted to pair Supros of old and new together today and sort of build a track around it with no pedals and just to see, you know, how a newer Supro interacts with the OG, the original one. Yeah, we're just excited. We haven't played this amp and we really are looking forward to seeing how they sound together.
And before we get into anything, I want to turn the camera to our friend Pete, who actually brought the amp in, and he's going to give us a little bit of a rundown about the story of this thing.
Yeah, so it's mid-60s, don't quite know the year. It's a rescue, so yeah, probably, let's say 66. The 16T is sort of like a Princeton vibe. It's got 12AX7, 6V6, 5Y3, sort of similar setup there. Low wattage, 5 watts, and then 8-inch, really old school Jensen speaker. And yeah, I feel like the thing I've been hearing about the Montauk is that it just has a really nice, like classic Supro vibe, and it reminds people of the old school thing. And so yeah, I just wanted to bring in its grandfather and see how they gel.
Well, let's get into it. All right, so a few minutes have passed. We've quite literally moved 5 feet back, and we're here with the amps. So we're gonna plug them in and get a feel for it. Oh, all right. Tremolo on right away. Shut that off for now.
Okay, well, what's your volume at?
I am
straight up.
I am at just about 11 o'clock. I'll come up to noon.
Okay, and your tone?
Tone is at noon.
Cool.
So as our good friend Tyler Bryant says, the best way to test an amp is with a good old A chord. We're both on the bridge pickup. Let's see these two amps. Interesting. So like what I'm noticing right away is that amp definitely has a lot more kind of mid-range punch, and this amp is definitely, the 16T is definitely a bit warmer.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the power tubes. This has the 6V6 and that has the 6L6, and right. Yeah, I always found that 6V6 tubes are a bit warmer, where the 6L6s have a little bit of that mid-range kind of heft to it.
It's also the speaker difference is going to be giving us a bit of a different flavor too, with this being a bit of a bigger one.
Right, the Montauk is definitely louder.
You should turn that up, see how it sounds.
Yeah, let's see.
Nice.
Yeah, so Nick, you have an idea of what you want to do in terms of a track, so why don't you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, me and Pete put together this like little kind of Neil Young-esque kind of deep pocket sort of riff chordy thing that we wanted to just like really see how we could showcase the amp. So I'm thinking we should use the Montauk for the rhythm, just because it's a little bit fuller sounding EQ, a little bit bassier, just to establish that, you know, for the track. But I kind of want to do the Jazzmaster, I think.
Yeah, let's hear it sound like P90s.
Cool.
Let's do that.
Let's do it. This is also Pete's guitar. very beautiful.
Pete is a generous guy.
He really is. Nice.
Oh,
It cuts.
it
I love
brightens
it.
it up.
Yeah, it really
Nice.
does. We're just gonna check out the. Oh yeah, can we get the? Oh, it's recording.
It is recording.
That sounds great. That works for me.
That's fucking awesome. All right, so to complement Nick's rhythm part on the Montauk, I wanted to come up with this really cool arpeggiated pattern to kind of just fill out the track. And so what I did was I switched over to the treble input on the 16T just to give a little bit more brightness, let it cut through, complemented by rolling the tone pretty much almost all the way up. Plenty of volume in the gain to really get those tubes crunching, and wanted a little bit of obvious tremolo for that vintage warble. And put that all together with a humbucker on the bridge pickup, and it sounds like this.
Yeah.
So
That's
good.
the stuff.
So good. All right, let's hear that in the track.
Okay, great playing, great sweater. I love it.
Oh yeah, let's take a second to acknowledge we
Um,
both showed up in like the same outfit,
It's
sort
really
of.
nice. Painter pants and a nice little knit.
I think our outfits complement each other just like these amps.
I was also gonna ask, do you think that this amp looked like this when it was new, or is this totally a different thing? Is this all the dirt and grit of like 65 years of?
What does Pete think?
I'd like to think so. I think this is a little more blue. I think this one started pretty gray.
I think you're right.
It just sat in a Brooklyn rehearsal studio until we revived it for this shoot
Yeah.
in its
essentially.
full Class A Valco glory.
So what do you think? Should we do like the thing that the Montauk does, which is turn it into a reverb tank essentially?
Yeah, like
Add a slide part.
I think what would be sick is if we made the Montauk a full reverb tank by just essentially sending the dry signal via the dry out into the 16T, basically making that a glorified Class A overdrive pedal. See how the two preamps interact together, and then that is just a pure reverb that we can blend up and down.
Right. That sounds great. Yeah, and then we got a level and dwell on the verb on here. I say we just crank it.
Yeah.
Just so that we can just blend the mic in on the faders in there. See how it interacts.
Yeah, this may not work as well as we dream it will work, but let's take a few minutes and
Pete,
find
do you
out.
have insurance on this amp in case we blow it to?
That's just the risk with vintage gear. No,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
All right, we have his blessing.
I've been rough with
He trusts us.
Okay. Let's do it.
Oh my god. This sounds so good.
It really does. That's crazy. It's crazy being behind this amp while it's just putting out reverb. right, so we're gonna try to get the gnarliest tone we possibly can now. I think the only way to do that is if we put these amps in stereo and just crank them
100%.
to the end. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Let's check out the Montauk first and just see like what that sounds like.
Yeah, for
full
sure.
blast. It's pretty hot.
Sick. All right, so now I'm gonna blend in some of the 16T
Okay, cool.
now. It's off right now. Give it a second to load up. But I got this thing basically cranked. Let's see how it sounds now.
Yeah. I'm feeling it.
You know, I'm honestly curious. Pete, you never heard the Montauk before. You're a little biased to the 16T because it's been your baby. But what are your thoughts about this?
The 16T does what it does, but I feel like it's revealing itself to be kind of a niche specialty thing in comparison to the kind of consummate all-rounder of the Montauk. I feel like it's the same with like old cars or something. When you start to really push them and bring them up to freeway speed, they can start to shake and a knob will fall off the radio or something. And yeah, the Montauk just seems like the interstate travel kind of car with climate control on. It's a lot more comfortable, going full tilt. But there's some magic that is really pure in the 16T.